welcome back
We're back.
for another season 2 up in this thing.
That's right. We're back for season 2. We all the haters, all the doubters, we're back.
Are you excited, man?
I'm excited. I think we did so much in season 1. I don't think that we're gonna set the world on fire. Like, we're not like competing with Trevor Noah and like Michelle Obama and I don't know who else, like the great podcasters. We're not quite there yet, Jay, but we're on a path.
Yeah.
We are on a path and we are ever improving. And I think that's what we're all about, buddy.
Oh yeah, look, Trevor Noah, Michelle Obama, Joe Rogan, we got quite a ways to go before we get that type of presence, but nevertheless, we're still bringing value to the Salesforce community. Hopefully they're finding joy in the camaraderie that we share here. And that camaraderie is just going to expand in season 2 because we have quite a list of special guests that are lined up. Right?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think that we've met like a lot of people in our travels, whether it was from Dreamin in Color last year in Raleigh or some of my user group things that I've done throughout the years. And we've got a lot of really interesting people that I think people tuning in would really enjoy hearing about.
Yeah, we got some famous folks. We got some Salesforce MVPs.
We got SteveMo. I'm wearing my Boston shirt.
You gave the name.
SteveMo.
All right. Ted, you coming out swinging. Mr. Mo. Mr. Mo, if y'all recall.
Yeah.
I want to say that was episode 1 or 2. We jumped straight into it, and Mr. Mo's name came up as being quite the presence in the Salesforce community.
So do you even, if I say the name SteveMo, does that mean anything to you? Have you heard that before?
I have not heard that.
I love it. Okay. Okay. Awesome. That is perfect. And the person who would love that the most is Steve.
And we're going to bring you all an exclusive interview with J. Ted, the Salesforce Saga, and none other than the great SteveMo, right?
We will. And I think we've got some people that was pretty important in us coming together last year at the conference. And so I won't throw out too many more, spoilers, but like we've got some people that were really a big part of us coming together. And so we're thrilled to have a lot of people that are important to us on this podcast coming up this year.
Yeah. And look, speaking of the conference, man, looking at my watch, that thing is right around the corner.
I know, right?
Yeah, like these months are flying by, like super fast. So, look, I'm stuck. Yeah. I don't know if you see it. I'm sweating just a little bit. Let me wipe that little smidge of sweat off.
Why are you sweating, Jay?
I still have something I need to do and be prepared for at the conference. Ted, I told you I cannot show up. I cannot show up.
You will not
without
show
that
up.
Admin Cert.
You won't.
I can't. I cannot do it.
You won't. You got this. You got this. And if you need my help, I am here for you. You're gonna get it done.
Oh yeah, look, I'm not worried about that. I do think that I'm gonna get it done.
You just said you were sweating. What do you mean you're not worried about it?
Just maybe it's hot in me. I'm not too worried. That, like I said, a smidge of sweat. A smidge is just like that much. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm very confident that I'm gonna get it done. Yep. I know you and I have been kind of exchanging notes, and some of the stuff that I've been covering as part of my studies actually goes beyond,
I think so,
the admin certification, right?
Yeah.
So
you're a beyond type of guy, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, I didn't know I was into it too, and I brought it up. You're like, no, it's not gonna be on the cert. I'm almost positive, but I know it now.
You do,
yeah. And if folks are wondering kind of what that is, I'm talking about events and flows and all this other good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the place to be. That's the place to be, Jay, right? Like, certifications are important, and that's part of the journey, right? It's part of the saga. But understanding that other stuff that gets work done and meets requirements, like, that's super important stuff. Whether it's like directly related to a cert or not, you're definitely on the right path by going down there for sure.
And look at the bright side. If they offer any extra credit questions, I might be able to get a few extra points. May push me over that hump.
Well, speaking of sweat, I got a little sweat going on too, because we have the privilege of speaking at Dreamin' in Color. And that's a blessing and a curse, because that means we also have to work on certifications, and this podcast and work, but we also have to put this presentation together. So we'll give some updates, I think, during season 2 about that.
Yeah, it kind of makes my chin itch. You are spot on about that one. I guess we were part of the lucky few that were selected to speak at Dreamin' in Color in June. So you guys are going to see us in person. You have a chance to interact with us, ask us questions, and also we might just get you in for a small snippet on the J Ted and the Salesforce Saga, right? So you may show up.
That's
on
right.
the,
And
on
I
the
think
episode.
Jay, you're going to bring your pen, right? So you can sign autographs. Is that how it goes?
Nobody want my autograph. They don't want my autograph. You're the guy, Ted. We always talk about this. You're the guy in the Salesforce world. You know,
Well,
I'm like, you're the guy in there that's hosting a big event, and I'm at the door just kind of peeking in. You know, I think that's kind of where we are.
Hey, everything's fleeting, my friend. Like that's a blip in time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But look, so Ted, this is a new year.
yeah.
We're 2024 bound. I know you closed out last year with the bang. I want to say you secured 2 certificates, right?
I did. Yeah.
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 So, I mean, what's your plans for 2024? We're not going to stop where we were.
No,
Right?
that's a great question. I think like work wise, I'm going to be really big into learning how to use a couple of these marketing tools that my company has brought in to plug into Salesforce. Marketo and Lean Data. So I'm going to be learning a lot about these 2 new tools. I don't think there's like the same sort of certifications with those, but I'm going to that's going to be a big part of my education. And then in terms of like Salesforce education, I said last year, I was really inspired by what Asterisk Loftus had to say at Dreamin' in Color last year, and a presentation about designer career path and designer related certifications. And I still am going to try to get that certification. So I have it pulled up here. It's called the Salesforce Strategy Designer. And that's my stretch goal between now and the conference, is to try to earn that certification. Because really, I want to be able to meet up with Asterisk and tell him that I saw his session last year and was inspired by him and did this, and maybe have him as a future interview on the podcast. But we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Let's see if I can hit that goal. What are you going for?
Well, look, you kind of piqued my curiosity with this designer cert. I'll need to do some research on what all it entails. Is it focused on best practices, I guess, when doing dashboards, visualizations, things like that, or is it along those lines?
You know, I don't know a ton about this strategy designer, but I think it's basically like a framework of being able to do your work and what to consider when you build within Salesforce, because it's not just as simple as like a data model. You know, like those sorts of things are important, but you also have to consider user experience and like the whole package. So I haven't dug too deep on this yet, but for sure I'll be happy to report back on the podcast and let you know what I learn as I get into it. I just downloaded the certification exam guide for it, because that's always where I start when it comes to certifications, because that kind of lays out what will be on the test, and then it gives you that sort of path towards what you need to focus on. So I've downloaded it. I haven't really gotten into it yet, but that's going to be what I'm going to try to get to between now and June.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting, because I know I was kind of along the lines thinking about the BA cert.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That one has kind of come up a couple times, and it sounds like the point you made is a good one. But if there's something that focuses more on, I guess, the kind of aesthetics side of Salesforce when it comes to developing different, I guess, orgs and pages for customers, then I'll definitely be interested in that.
Oh yeah. There's definitely some good stuff on that I can tell you about for sure. I've off the top of my head, I'll probably come up with a blank. So let's just table that one for another episode.
Look, okay. But so, I mean, I think season 2 is shaped up quite well, just kind of bringing it back full circle. And I think that
Yeah.
folks are going to be in for a big surprise. We got quite a bit of content that we're looking to share. So like, I'm excited, man. Look, I'm part of it and I'm excited. Like, I've done it and
Yeah.
I'm excited. I already know what's going to be said and I'm excited. So I can only imagine that when folks get their hands on some of these interviews that we're doing with folks across the Salesforce community, they're gonna be psyched, man.
Yeah, I think so. And like, we've learned a lot, right? Like, we're gonna, instead of saying, "Hey, episode 2 is gonna come out," like we're gonna tell you who's on episode 2. We're gonna tell you what the focus is. So
Mhm.
if you're interested in that topic, tune in. Like, it'll mean something to you, and it'll be out there on the podcasting platforms and YouTube and that sort of thing. For the future. So like, those sorts of topics and conversations will probably be pretty relevant going forward. So you can kind of hit the archive and hit the episodes that you think will be most interesting to you.
Yeah. And I will say, if you haven't caught all of season 1, we encourage you to go do so. You can do that out on YouTube. I'll
Yep.
try and link it here. That's probably not going to show up in the thing. I'll try and link it here. Or, we're also expanding out to Spotify, because we know some folks like to kind of listen to podcasts as they work out. I don't
Yep.
know if I have a radio voice. I don't know if I got a television face, but we're definitely giving it
No,
a
I
try.
don't.
So if Spotify is your platform of preference, then you'll be able to jog and listen to Jay and Ted, the camaraderie that we have, some of the interviews. So yeah, definitely looking forward to expanding out and potentially reaching more people,
Yeah, definitely. And if anybody out there is listening in and you like some of our people that we've interviewed, if you've got ideas for other people you'd like to hear from, let us know. We'll reach out to them and get them on the podcast, and we'll go from there. So I hope you enjoyed this season 2. We're super excited about it, and we hope you are too.
All right. Look, I mean, I think that kind of brings us to a close. So with that being said, everyone have a good one. Looking forward to season 2. Jay, Ted, and the Salesforce Saga signing off.
See you next time.